Alice, nowhere in this country is safe. In literally the last week alone, we've had the senseless murder of Wayne Broadhurst in Uxbridge, stabbing of a 14-year-old boy in Peterborough, and most recently, on Saturday night, the stabbing of 10 people on a train in Huntingdon. And I was on the train this morning, and I had my head on the swivel, and there was a real tension in the air. I think people are really, for one thing, sick and tired of living this way, but also scared. I think people are really worried, particularly if they have children, or if they have a sister, or, about the state of law and order in this country, because it feels to me like the country is a tinderbox and nowhere feels safe. How do you feel about this?
I agree with you entirely. Nothing's ever been more dangerous. Public transport, shopping, on our streets, in London especially. As a young woman, I certainly don't feel safe. I think pepper spray should be legalised, frankly, because, young men such as yourself can defend yourselves. But for people who are more vulnerable, it's a real crisis in safety. And whilst that is ultimately the fault of the government for failing time and time again to make the necessary precautions in ensuring safety and that our streets are safe and that our public transports are spaces of safety, it's a real failure on their part. I also think that there are several incidents which can't be directly attributed to Keir Starmer's policy failings, but I think in this instance we can look to the government and say, what are they doing about this? Which brings me on to an interesting point which I wanted to discuss with you. The government often sees, as a response to these sorts of situations, an increase in security. What if they want to introduce airport-style security on trains? It always seems to be an opportunity to increase the surveillance state, to add more measures to ensure that, we're all patted down and made sure that we don't have any knives on us. Is that the right response to these kind of situations? What do you think?
As with so many issues in this country, our ruling class seems committed to treating symptoms as opposed to addressing the root cause of these things. I think that is a prime example of that, because there already has been discourse about one remedy to this crime explosion that we're seeing in the country. By the way, there were crime statistics released the other week that suggested we are in the midst of a crime wave. And these horrible atrocities that have happened literally in the last week certainly seem to point to that. And already there is talk of the introduction of knife arches at train stations and, as you say, patting down of passengers and all this kind of thing. And sure, that may prevent further incidents like this happening. But is that the kind of country we want to live in? Do we want to live in a police state